Hi, everybody. Welcome to Inside the Majors. What I'm about to share with you was a recording that I did a couple of days ago with two Majors Series now legends, Trevor Vorosky, who was a series winner in the European division, and also Nathan Dowd, who probably ran Christian Challoner as close as anybody has in the last almost decade for a championship in the Majors Series, ending 2 points short. But look, this wasn't a planned podcast. Just so happened that we ended up in the same place at the same time. And so, we had a bit of a chat around the 2025 Major Series and also various other things around iRacing and motorsport and world politics and all sorts of things. We also had some contributions from competition committee member Jake Fox, who joined partway through. And also Sector 5's manager or senior member or long-time runner, if you like, Brian Bennett. And why Brian was around listening to the recording and joined in will become evident as the podcast goes on. So, look, this one was pretty loose. There was no plan. There was no script. We just got in a room and started talking. So, look, I hope you enjoy an off-the-cuff version of Inside the Majors here today. So, we'll get straight into how it went down. Okay. Anything that you now say may and will be used as evidence against you at some point in the future, you've been warned. You can say and swear and do anything that you like. Especially you can heap shit on Jake, who currently can't talk. No, I'm not going to let you get up here and talk. We're just going to slam you.
No, I'm just kidding.
All right. This is going to be pretty loose and fun. All right. Awesome. Hi, everybody. This is a random, special, spontaneous edition of Inside the Majors podcast. I was just in a practice session for the Majors Endurance Championship and came across a couple of Majors Series royalty members. We've got last year's European Pro winner, Trevor Vorosky, with us. Hello, Trevor.
Evening.
We've also got with us probably the unluckiest runner-up of all of the regions from last year, America's Pro runner-up, Nathan Dowd. Nathan, welcome to the podcast and commiserations on missing the championship by such a small margin.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, happy to be here.
Nathan, we'll have a bit of a look back first at your season. The beginning of your season, I think, is as strong as we've ever seen in the Major Series. What was going through your mind after such an amazing beginning to 2025?
Honestly, yeah, just trying to believe it. I don't know. I was surprised. I was surprising myself, to be honest. I knew I ran the IMSA stuff quite a bit and a couple other series and officials and whatnot, and so that first round being Daytona and the IMSA cars, I knew I'd at least have a chance. That was a good start to the year, and then honestly, I just kept rolling, and I was like, okay. I was surprised. I was assuming Challoner would just take over like he usually does, and he seemed to get a slow start to the year, which was a lot unlike him, to be honest. So I was like, okay, I guess maybe I'll have a chance at it if I can keep this up. But I knew at some point he was going to wake up and do what he usually does. But yeah, I was not expecting, I don't know, I think in the past few years I've one top split win, if I remember right. Yeah, definitely not used to winning like that over and over. So it was pretty surprising.
You say you were expecting Christian to chase you down and take control, but I think the last round absolutely encapsulated the season for both of you. The lead changed 3 times, was it? I think maybe even 4 during the Super Formula at Suzuka. And you basically ran within a second of each other for the entire race. And yeah, it was winner take all for the championship. Yeah, you really did go toe to toe with him during the year.
I guess I downplay a lot of my success or whatever that I had a bit, probably too much, but it was a great year. I feel like I did really well. I performed probably better than I've ever performed. But yeah, I was not expecting to be beating Christian like I was. So when I was, it was a little bit of a shock to the system and just trying to convince myself that this was actually happening. And then once we got to the second half and he was starting to win races like he usually does, but I was still competing with him, so I still felt like I could do it, and I had a great kind of cushion to get there. But yeah, I don't know, it just worked out in his favor just a little bit there towards the end. So I don't know, that's just how it goes. The way the points table is in this series really rewards winning races. The way it's 250 to win, 225 second, and whatever, then it skews off from there. So if you can get those top 3 positions consistently, you're going to build up a big cushion, or you can really catch someone really fast. So he was able to do that, and it is what it is.
You say you're securing those top three positions. You finished in the top five 9 times out of the 12 races last year. You were the absolute epitome of consistency. I will have to ask though, did the Schumacher approach ever cross your mind? You were the points leader going into the last round. You did have the better drop round than Christian as well. You were running nose to tail or wheel to wheel, particularly an hour and 40 minutes. Did it ever cross your mind of if we both don't finish, I win?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I joked about it ahead of time. Like I could just the old Senna and the Prost. You said Schumacher, same thing. And I tried to be aggressive because I knew that was the case, and I wasn't gonna wreck him outright or anything like that. But I was definitely trying to be aggressive and put him in tough positions where if we did make a mistake, racing hard, that is what it is. But definitely wanted to race with respect and not just outright push him off the track or anything like that, even though yeah, that was definitely a thing, but yeah, I didn't want to do it that way. It wouldn't have felt good to do that. It wouldn't have been respectful to him. I feel like we raced hard all year long, and that would have been a shame to have something like that happen. I would have felt bad, even if it was an accident. But no, yeah, we definitely joked about it a little bit. But I'm glad we were able to race it out, even though he got me in the end. I feel like we did have a few battles in that last race, so it was a lot of fun. Wouldn't have done it any other way, to be honest.
You wouldn't want to have won it by contact, but you wouldn't have shed any tears if it had happened, basically, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, exactly. I made it a point to be pretty aggressive, and I made some moves. Like, I, I'm a pretty passive driver, I feel like, usually, and I don't make a lot of aggressive moves usually. So I made some moves, and we went side by side in a few spots in that race where normally any other time I probably would have just sat behind and saved fuel or try to pick a better spot on the straight. But yeah, so I was definitely racing him hard.
It was a great season, and I think, yeah, that last race, and this isn't just recency bias, but I think, yeah, that last race for Americas was, for me, the race of the season. Trevor, hello. Sorry, we haven't been ignoring you. Congratulations to you for the first time on the podcast. I've obviously said it personally before, but the first time on Inside the Majors since your European win. Congratulations, and I am holding you to the fact that you said let you win it and you will retire. But yeah, well done, mate.
Yeah, it was not expected. I think the last time we talked was after Daytona, and I had somehow won 2 races in one weekend, and I was like, "Hey, this is pretty cool. Yeah, we'll see what happens," type of deal. And then, yeah, it turned into a really great season. I went from having one all-time major win to 6, so I think that means things went pretty well, and obviously was able to get the championship. It was fun. If I'm being super selfish about it or whatnot, I was a little disappointed when Jesper kind of dropped out midway through because I think we had a fun battle going there, and from then on out, it was a little tougher because I think you and Daniel were just starting a little bit further back once some of the sim racing Sweden guys dropped off in activity. But overall, it was a blast. It was definitely, I think, the best I've done in any year, and feels really cool being able to win the championship. It's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, 5 wins for the season, as you said, added quite a lot to your one in the tally beforehand. It was also the most wins of anybody across the whole majors in all the regions last year as well. So congratulations for that. But I think what you said about Jesper is absolutely correct. Yeah, it was a shame to see the Swedish guys disappear in the middle of the season, but you were in front at the time and you still had to get the job done against increasing competition for some new people that came along that didn't do all of the rounds in Europe last year. So I certainly think that you proved yourself worthy of getting in that Hall of Fame as a major series winner.
Yeah, I mean it's been a long time coming or whatever. I think I had 100 starts this year at the during the 500, and yeah, it was a long season. This was my first season without any sort of team support and whatnot. I drifted away, and some of the guys I was teamed up with before had stopped running. And I think I joined a new group of guys midway through, not 25, but 2024. And I do really feel like I've gotten better and I've been around more guys to push me. And I think we talked about that a little bit earlier on in the year. But this year was a little different just because I went into a year with no teammates. It was just me. Every race it was what's the best I can do and go. What's the best thing for me and all sorts of stuff like that. So it's On the one hand, it's cool because I'm not worried about this setup needs to work for this guy's driving style or that needs to work for somebody else's. I can just focus on my own. However, I also am not the guy who builds the setups. So there were definitely a lot of races where it's I'm getting into the warm up maybe the full 2 hours before we hit qualifying, and I'm like, I don't know what setup I'm going to run yet. Let's throw this at the wall. Let's throw this at the wall. A couple races where that happened. The IndyCar race at Sonoma, I was in the dregs for a long time until I think I finally clicked on something early in the warm-ups, and I was potentially going to have a top 5 car. Didn't end up going that way, but pulled something out of nothing there as far as setup goes. Same thing with the the short track race that we ran, the mini stocks or whatever it was. I was nowhere for a long time, and then just before we started to kick over into the heats, hit on something, and then I think I worked on it from the heat to like the next main and did just enough to where I could maintain track position. So it was definitely a lot different just going at it solo. Not something I'd necessarily advise for other people to do unless you have a lot of setup knowledge and whatnot, which I didn't really have. So I felt like I got by a lot of these weekends by the skin of my teeth. But overall, really good season, the best I've ever done, and yeah, really proud of it.
It's interesting you talk about the importance of team and getting that assistance and help through the majors. Nathan, we might come back to you. Sector 5 had, from a team perspective, probably the best season that they've ever had, going into the last race with Giga on equal points in America's Pro. Tell me a little bit about the Sector 5 team, the relationship that you got with them, and how the season went from that perspective rather than just you personally.
Yeah, it's always nice to have a group of guys who can just help prepare. And we're not like super hardcore serious. We're not like overly preparing. We're pretty casual about it for the most part. So it's really just having a collection of guys that you can just hang out with for the most part, warming up, finding setups, tweaking them, getting them to fit our specific event that we're preparing for or whatnot. So we do a little bit of setup work like that. But for the most part, it's just having people there to do it with alongside you, not doing it all yourself. Like Trevor was. I feel like that's a lot more impressive when someone can do that without a group of people helping support that effort. So it's definitely an advantage when you have a group of guys to do that with. So I joined. Brian Bennett, he reached out to me a couple years ago after, I think, my first or second year. And I was just running solo at the time. And yeah, he reached out after the year and was asking to join. I was like, yeah, sure. I've done the solo stuff for a couple of years, see what the team stuff's all about. And it adds another wrinkle to the season too when you're having a good year like that and you have the team points alongside the driver points to pay attention to. And yeah, that's pretty it's pretty crazy going into the last race when you're only separated by one point, I think, after a full year of team points. But yeah, so we'll see what we can do next year. We'll be trying to give them another run for their money. We'll see what we can do.
It's certainly great to hear that you'll be back for 2026. Trevor, I know I did joke earlier about holding you to your let me win and I'll retire job from earlier in the season, but yeah, can we expect to see you back on the track this year?
Yeah, it'll look a little different. For one, I'm going to be moving over into the Americas region because it's not a real championship unless you beat Challenger, I think is how it goes here, or something like that. No, I don't actually mean that. But I am moving to the Americas. I'm not going solo. Brian also reached out to me, and yeah, I'm going to try and help Sector 5 get that last little spot. Hopefully, it'll be fun. I don't expect to compete for the Drivers' Championship over there. I think the expectation for myself would be try and be a top 5 driver over there and maybe pick up a win or two. But I doubt I'm gonna repeat this last year. But give it a good go. Run with the Sector 5 guys. I think it's gonna be a really fun time being back on a team and going for another constructors championship. Got one with Grizzly however many years ago, and it's really rewarding, honestly. I think when you go for those constructors titles with a group of guys. So I think it's gonna be a blast.
Also, Eric Smith will be joining us too. Brian wanted to make sure I shouted him out. So a couple new members to the Sector 5 team.
Challenger can't win them all. He cannot win all of them. He can't win every championship every year. He must be stopped. So, yeah, that's the goal.
I wish you both luck in your individual and your team endeavors in the America's series next year. This podcast did come about because we were all in a practice session for the Majors Endurance Championship. So obviously that tends to indicate that you're both going to take part. Tell us a little about what your plans are for MEC.
I am not affiliated with Sector 5 for that. Those guys are going down, okay? Now, running over there with the GTD guys, the GT Dynamics team. Yeah, last year we weren't really able to run because there wasn't really a class for us for the unlimited GT3 stuff. So that was one of the changes. I know I talked to you about some of the feedback from that, and we're super excited to see that change. Schedule looks awesome with the IMSA-based stuff. It's a lot of tracks we're really familiar with. So yeah, we're gonna give that a go. Trying to fit that in around all these crazy special events as this time of year is going to be a little tricky, but yeah, I think we can give that a really solid go. Usually we have a pretty good car for Daytona. I feel like we had a great car for Daytona last year. We've already been putting in a ton of work this year, so hopefully we're in a really good place. It'll be a little tricky for this because we're not in the Porsche in the GT3 for Daytona. I think at minimum best of the rest is kind of what we're going for, and hopefully that puts us pretty far up the grid.
And Nathan, how about Sector 5's plans for the MEC? What have you guys got up your sleeve for coming out and showing everybody who's boss?
We're still figuring it out, to be honest. I think we're gonna be doing Daytona for sure. Probably just one team, but maybe two. We're not quite sure yet. But we're gonna just play it by ear. I think we like the team events a lot, so they're always a lot of fun. You guys do a great job having a kind of a structured thing compared to the official stuff. You guys have a lot more infrastructure involved in the full course yellows, and the systems that you guys have make it a lot of fun and makes the races a lot more interesting. I'm not sure if we'll do the full year, to be honest. We're going to do Daytona and then go from there and see how it fits with everyone's schedule, I guess, for the most part. But well, at least Daytona and probably a couple others, I would assume. And then I know last year, me and I think Jimbo Pfeiffer, we did the GTP. I think we did every round except for one, and that was a lot of fun. I think we were in second split every race, but even so, it's still competitive, still a lot of fun. Just enjoy what you guys kind of put on for everybody.
Well, remember, this season we have included the drop round, so everybody can miss a round and still be competitive for the championship. And sales pitch, buying the season pass for the MEC is actually cheaper than 4 rounds individually. So if you plan on even doing half of the Majors Endurance Championship, then you're better off buying the season pass than entering one race to another. There you go. Yes, this ad is brought to you by majorseries.com. All right, I'm going to do something that I may regret. Jake, come on up.
Yo, what's going on, boys? Yeah.
Uh-oh. Hello.
Congrats, and yeah, mate, fuck. I wish some would take that prick. See, how many fucking Marion Junior trophies does he need? For Christ's sake.
He's got quite the coin collection.
I think the Scrooge McDuck meme or GIF is put out there fairly regularly when it comes to Christian Chandler and coins.
Yeah.
You hate it too because he's such a nice guy too, that he's like a genuinely good dude, great racer, whatever. And it would be so much easier to hate him if he was a dick about it. But he's a really nice guy, so when he wins, you're like, ah, man, he got me, or whatever. Versus, ah, man, screw that guy.
Like Cherry
Look,
said, he's hard to hate.
Christian knows I love him to bits, but come on, man, someone else, mate.
Well, Nathan's shown that it
No,
can be
honest-
done. It was only the smallest of B's dicks that stopped Nathan from getting it done. So, yeah,
Well, you
there is
said
absolutely ways to do it.
He's had a few times where he's been close, because I remember one year Justin Morton was close to quite a bit of the year, so it can be done, but it's just fucking, it was disappointing, nothing personal, but I really wanted to see Dowd win last year, so just have someone
Yeah,
new
right.
on the top step. But hey, it is what it is. And like I say, Christian is a nice guy, but the advantage he probably has over a lot of us is the fact that he is a setup engineer for iRacing, so he can probably just talk to his mates or whatever and get hooked up if he's not making them himself. That is.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with the fact that we're drunk old fucks.
Yeah.
Well, Rouse gave him a
I
little
just-
bit of a run last year too, if I remember right. He's not invincible, so it's doable for sure.
Hey, Jake, while you're here, I just wanted to, I didn't get a chance to talk to you on the podcast the last round after the Iron Warrior. Thank you for making that event as big a laugh as it was. I could not stop giggling the entire way through that race because you took it upon yourself not to try and win the race, but to just cause as much complete carnage as you could. And it was awesome awesome. So thank you and well done.
Nothing personal, if Mike hears this, I don't know, but if it wasn't a fucking NASCAR prize, I'd probably try and win it. But I'm not American. NASCAR doesn't mean that much to me.
What if it was an SVG model?
Nah, I don't care. No, not a NASCAR. I'd rather have maybe a Formula One car or an Indy car.
Oh, you've heard it here first. Not every New Zealander is absolutely in love with Shane Van Gisbergen.
Oh, he's a good driver. He needs to start fucking winning on ovals, mate. Otherwise, but
Getting
he's going
better.
to have some competition with his fucking young teammate this year because that guy's I can't
Yeah.
remember his fucking name, but that guy's
Oh, Zilich.
Zilich.
yeah, Zilich. Yeah, he's like the full package, mate.
Look, I'll tell you this. It was a little over 12 months ago. Actually, it might have even been almost 2 years ago. Shane Van Gisbergen and Scott McLaughlin shared a GT3 car with Connor Zilich at the Daytona 24-hour, and they both got out and just went, "He's quicker than me." So if you're looking for a character reference, a car driver, particularly as a sports car driver, when you get Shane Van Gisbergen and Scott McLaughlin get out of a car and just go, "That 18-year-old as he was at the time is quicker than me." Yeah, that's going to be somebody who's going to be pretty special for the next couple of decades, I think.
So yeah, no disrespect to NASCAR, but I feel like Zilich is wasted on NASCAR. I think he's better. I think he could go bigger than NASCAR. I feel like, but there's not a lot of good you don't get like a lot of American drivers that go into international stuff. I feel like Zilich could have been one.
It's pretty. No, they pull from their own pool over there. If you're not coming up through the junior formula ranks in Europe, you're not.
There's
get
not
a lot of
a
them there.
lot of formula here. I think that's a big problem. So there's not a good
No, it's just-
pathway for someone to make it to like Formula One,
IndyCar's
for
tried to
example.
make one. IndyCar's tried to make
Yeah,
kind
they
of a
tried
one,
to push
but it just
Herta,
doesn't.
but
It's not the
like
same.
it's hard.
Fuck Formula One anyway, mate. Unless you're getting a good car, it's fucking waste of time.
Yeah, fair.
Nobody knows
I
which
wish
is going to be the
Enzo
good
was-
car this coming season, so that'll at least make
No,
that part
but
interesting.
some teams don't even give their drivers a fair shot. Liam Lawson, he fucking got shot down after 2, and then most of the season he was beating Sonoda. Now, poor
The
Sonoda's ass.
I honestly believe the irony is that Lawson getting shafted after 2 races, which was utterly ridiculous, actually saved his career. Because if he'd stayed in that car all year, they would have just turfed him like they have Sonoda. So I think it actually saved his career, which is ironic as fuck.
Yeah, it's weird. But who the
Yeah,
fuck
just
wants
has
to
how
drive with
crazy good
fucking
Max is,
Verstappen
too.
anyway?
We've had a listener during the whole podcast, Brian. Brian, have you got a question for either of your now teammates?
No, I was in that practice with everybody, and Trevor, I had just left, and Trevor's speaking to you. Oh yeah, we'll do a podcast. I'm like, sweet, we're gonna have a podcast with Sector 5 guys. And I've been here like I didn't get invited to speak. I'm like, shit.
Well, Garen didn't exactly know it was a podcast with Sector 5 guys at the time. I think was kind of the
Oh,
thing.
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
This was planned. I'm just sitting here having a beer, and I thought, I'll just jump in and do a few laps in the MEC practice session. Why not? I paid for the fucking thing, and then it's turned into this.
It's like Brian hadn't made the change on the website or whatever, I think, until like right now it happened. So I'm like, there's no way he knows that I'm moving to Americas and I'm going to drive for Sector 5. So this is going to be hilarious when this hits on the podcast. I was like, this is going to be so funny.
Do you need me to delay this podcast so that you can tell some people you're moving, Trevor, or what's going on, dude?
Nah, it's all good.
It's not a secret. It's just, I just thought it was funny timing.
It is a secret. It's a breaking exclusive on Inside the Majors.
That's right.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say anything, so I let Trevor kind of decide.
Yeah, make
I
sure.
didn't share
Yeah,
this
make sure you
timing.
go place your bets on DraftKings or wherever the odds makers are for this. Get your odds in for your America's Teams Championship, your Euro Drivers Championship. I hear Garen's odds just got a lot better.
No, they'll get a lot worse when people say I haven't registered at all.
Until they figure out you're gonna have your hands full with mech for the first half of the whole season.
I'm not doing shit the first half of the season. I'm too busy being fucking admin boy over here. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'll tell you what, the beginning of last season, even though it went probably as good as I have ever had in majors, between running MEC and putting so much work into that, as well as running 2 fucking regions, not just one in the major series, and being on the competition committee, mate, I got to the 24 and I was just like, fucking, I'm done. I'm cooked. I need to get out of here.
It can be a lot.
I was hoping that Wayne was going to win Iron Warrior, having done all 3 regions.
The 3 PG
every race.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
insane.
Yeah, I look forward to retirement where I get to do stuff like that or whatever, because I don't know how you find the time to do that. That's crazy.
Just don't sleep.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's doing it again this year too, mate.
It's not easy when you got a golf game every day and all the associated drinking and stuff.
I'd be done after Daytona, to be honest. I wouldn't be able to handle that. That's too much.
Oh, 3 Daytona 500s. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah. There's no way.
Oh, the years that we have the Coke 600, 3 Coke 600s. Are you kidding me? Those races are
Yeah,
like
yeah.
7 hours long. The year we did it in we did it in the 87. That race took forever. My God.
Do you want
We
to
get close
hear
to
the kicker?
that with the Daytona one when they make us do the duels on the same day as the race. Basically the same.
Why-
Oh, that's true.
To his credit, you said about this Coke 600, Wayne completed all 400 laps in all 3 regions this year.
Ah, man. First of all, impressive to be
Yeah,
on the
that
lead
was
lap
pretty
in
impressive.
all of those. Because those races are grueling. But man, that's
Yeah.
Well, he should clock over 200 races this year.
I was gonna
Sorry.
say he's gonna get to 200 starts before most people get to 100. But to
Yeah,
be fair,
I'm only hitting
he's
100.
running 36 race seasons, and we're all running 12.
Yeah.
He's on 171 already. Yeah, even if
Yeah.
he did 2 regions, he'd go close. So yeah, if he's going to do even most of all 3 regions, yeah, he'll totally get to 200 this year.
Hell of an achievement. All right, boys, I got to fuck off, have my dinner. Nice chatting with you.
Fuck off.
Brief as it was, but yeah, it's all good. Take it easy, boys.
But
See you, Jake.
Bye.
I see you, Jake.
right now we can all say what we really think about Jake. I mean, fuck that guy. I mean, Jake is the absolute backbone of Major Series. So yeah, great to hear a few comments from him. Now, this has been pretty loose and pretty ad-lib as we've gone through here. We should probably wrap it up so that you guys can go to bed, because whilst it's a drinking hour for me, it's bedtime for you guys. Look, we started with talking about the Major Series of 2025. Obviously, you both had phenomenal seasons, Nathan, even if you got that bit of a sour taste at the end. But look at the schedule for 2026. What excites you? What are you really looking forward to? And which round do you think is going to be your favorite once we get to the end of the season?
For me, the first one that sticks out is Sebring in the old Proto GT cars. Would be pretty darn cool. I like Sebring and I like those cars, so that'll be a good time.
Yeah, same for me, honestly. That's gonna be a lot of fun. I think, I don't know, we'll see. We're gonna be starting off with quite a wild card here with the short track oval. So it could be a rough start or it could be a great start. I don't know. You don't really know what you're gonna get with that. And then the Dirt Legends, it seems like a bit more of a wild card kind of a schedule, but I like that, honestly. I think I might be in the minority of liking those kinds of wacky combos. I feel like I do the best in those situations where kind of nobody is really quite sure what, no one's really got it figured out and just trying to figure out throughout the race week. But yeah, definitely the GT ones and the at Sebring is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, I'm gonna cheat, and I'm not gonna pick one event because that'd be lame. Definitely, I'd say the big ones that stick out to me is going into the Daytona 500 and having teammates. I very much look forward to that this year. Last year, it went really well for me, obviously, but man, is that a stressful event when riding solo. So definitely look forward to getting back into that and having a strong team for that one. But it's probably got to be the Portland GP. I'm a Portland-ish native, growing up in the area my whole life. It's the only track I've ever been to. It's the only track I've ever driven on. And really look forward to that. I don't think I'm going to be any good there, but I'm going to love the fact that we finally got to go there. And it's exciting to see that, and Adelaide and Miami and so much of the newer content coming along. So I think that back half of the year, that stretch coming down to the end, I think is going to be a really good time.
You say you don't think you'll be very competitive as a person that chased your rear wing around for an entire season last year in Euro. I think you'll do just fine. Trevor, congratulations on your Euro win last year. Thanks for dropping in at a moment's notice. Nathan, to you also, thank you for coming in spontaneously and having a chat with us. And also to Brian Bennett, one of the stalwarts and leaders of the Sector 5 team, who joined us there towards the end. Thank you all for your time today on Inside the Majors, and can't wait to see you on track in both the Major Series and the Major Endurance Championship this weekend.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Karen.
Thanks,
and we
man.
probably will have a little bit of presence in MEC It's just that we're completely disorganized and haven't really made a decision yet on what we're doing. But we'll be there for probably all the rounds, I imagine.
We don't like to plan too far ahead.
Love these guys. This is gonna be great.
Thanks,
We
Coach.
just
No,
show
that'd
up
be
and
great.
race. That's all.
Good
Yeah,
luck
no
getting,
worries, man.
good luck getting Jake into the voice aspects of this thing.
Oh, I don't know how the fuck I'm going to cut that up. I really don't. But anyway, you guys will get a good giggle at how I put that together, knowing what went in between.